Your mic's off.
Sorry. So where's Dave tonight?
So you have the lackeys, you have the grunts today. Dave and Angela are at a BBB meeting and in Nashville, and they are there. I think it's some kind of a board stuff tonight where they're nominating people for different conventions or something. We have no idea.
So if he didn't go, he'd get volunteered to be something.
No, I got voluntold.
Yeah, but if he didn't go, he'd get volunteered if he didn't show up.
Talking about this, and we're being recorded, so I like to say nice things only. But and of course, Dave. Anyway, no, we this is kind of Angela and Dave's. That's Angela's job. She's our Collaborate Live coordinator, and she helps us with a few. Angela's super good at PR and leading these groups, and she's got a radio podcast and that type of thing. So that's kind of her niche. So,
And she skipped out too, huh?
they're both there at the same event. So I think they couldn't, if they could not break away, otherwise they would be here. Because I think they've left trade shows to do this. So apparently it must be. But today I am David Kaminsky, as you can see by my.
So are they going to go to the Clipicon thing as well?
Angela is actually going to be at Clipicon next week.
It's 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, and Angela is the keynote speaker at Clipicon. So you'll see her there.
Okay, well, that'll be good.
Talking about you though before we got on, because I was telling him, today we're supposed to talk about this may be really short. If just the three of us, we can make this a little bitty haha. But I told him last week you had like a lot of amazing and listening. I said this last week, listening to your story and how you've approached your business. It's great to have you on this because and we need to really attract others that need this. We have a lot of people in our business that need to talk to people that have experience because constantly they need a community around them, where they can ask and they feel safe to ask, or they can kind of brainstorm out loud, the things that they need to do. But you have some great tools you've used, you've implemented some great systems. And I was telling Travis, like you carried the meeting last week, like you had great things to share, and that was awesome. So comes Tiki.
Yeah, I'm to the point where I need to soon do something and start a coaching group or something.
Yeah, I think so. That's kind of that would be my take on it. If I were to give you like my take to like not knowing outside, your business was very impressive. Hi, Tiki. How are you? Oh, your mic's off, I think.
Hi.
How are you?
Hey.
Except for the fact that this is being recorded, we could talk about Dave and Angela because they're not here today. So they are at a convention and they couldn't join. So Travis and I were asked to so this might be like the shortest Collaborate Live ever. But David gave me a couple of topics to talk about, and we can make this meeting anything that we want. And I was telling David before you got on that I thought his ideas and some of the things that he shared last week were really, really awesome. And that I thought that there's a lot of people that Travis and I interface with on a daily basis that really need to be on something like this, where they have access to people like David and you guys that have been through some of this stuff and they just don't know what they're missing,
Yeah, agree.
So how do we get this group bigger? How many customers does Dave have that?
We have about 300 customers.
When we get like 6 or 8?
Yeah, this is supposed to be what Angela is developing as that. And we've had one that had like 10. I think that's part of Angela, what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned it to people because I still do a lot of Andy and I do a lot of the first meetings, and then Travis is touching them when people join. So I always mention it, but I think people don't really have a grasp on what the goals are here. So I think they do a lot of e-blasts out and different connections that way. And sometimes people, if they get too much, maybe they don't listen or they don't join. I don't know. How did you guys hear about it, Tiki? Did Dave just tell you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who's here on iPhone, but I would love to know you. You have
You need to play where we all know who you are.
dang
I
it.
don't know. They're still coming up with
Having a-
iPhone.
Having issues.
I'm gonna call you dang it. We need to grow. Oh, I scared him away. That wasn't good. I think they're having issues. They'll come back. Anyway, so Kiki, today, like Travis and I were joking that we're the lackeys that have to come in and help with this because those guys drive this meeting. But Dave kind of wanted to talk today about community, and maybe it's a good question that you asked there, David, is like, how do we grow this so it's more resources for you all? If you're going to take your time, your hour out, how can we grow this community so that people are either getting access to ideas like David Hamill gave us last week, or getting access to other people they can be vulnerable with, maybe a little bit, and business wise being vulnerable, saying, hey, like, I kind of suck at that. Like, I need to do better motivating my employees. And David brought up a really cool tool last week that more people should know about. Grow his business. It's probably the cheapest money he spent on business development, that way, even though it cost him something.
Yeah.
Or employee retention. So how can we do that? How do you think we should do that, David?
How do we get it to grow?
Grow. Yeah.
Does he want to make it just open to his own customers?
I think it's supposed to, and that was the idea with Angela here. I think it's supposed to be open to people that, it's not really, we don't use it as a heavy recruiting tool, but just an acquaintance tool. Yeah, it should be open to other people so they learn a little bit more about what we do. And, I think of us as more of an attraction rather than a promotion company. Like, we're not out. I don't see us as heavy salesy. Even when we meet with people, we don't, I want them to want to join. So it's not a prerequisite.
Well, the more you have, the more you'll get out of it because there'll be more things shared.
Yeah.
It has to get bigger. So I don't know if he needs to, we can't really help him if we don't know who his customer base is. We probably know some of the people. Some of us might know some of the people that are his customer, but.
And I'm not sure if just texting people or sending reminders to them. I know for me, like, if I get a bunch of texts from somebody, it starts to annoy me a little bit. And I kind of like disregard, I don't know if that's the way or, yeah.
Maybe this group needs either a Facebook group or a Facebook Messenger group where everybody can ask stuff during the week and then get more.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Where you're, hey, we're going to get ready for our collaborate. Like,
Right.
what kind of questions do you want to go over this week?
Right. Or if you just got something during the week, like what was that thing we talked about last week that was whatever, and other people can chime in or whatever.
Yeah. I'll take some
Yeah, I
of it.
like that idea. I think we should totally have a Facebook group. So like a lot of people can't always think of the questions right on the spot, but you come up with all your questions during the week, like totally just ask them in that group. Everybody can chime in.
And if you just had a Facebook Messenger group, then it's just text and questions back and forth. It's not like you got to go to Facebook and make posts. You just have as long as it doesn't get too in depth where people's phones are blowing up. But
Yeah. No, that's the fine balance between, like, things. I think we do have a Facebook group. I just don't know how many people have joined. Like, I know it's a lot of work to grow your Facebook group because Dave and I started like one process when I first came here, or we were going to do this one process. And you almost have to have somebody, and Travis, we can talk to Angela about this, somebody full-time that goes out and joins, like if we wanted to bring people from the outside, you can go out and join pressure washing groups, and you can join, window cleaning groups, and you can start to comment and invite people. It's very time consuming. To your point.
I guess boil it down to the basics first. What's the purpose of the group?
Well, I think the purpose is to bring people together to help grow their business, but maybe because I'm not as articulate on it with what Angela and David have done, maybe we need to really have like a mission statement. Like, if we don't have that mission statement for what this group is supposed to do, we should have it and all know it. His vision was just like the high tide raises all the ships. So, I mean, I'm not exactly that, but it's getting
Think
together
you
to
want-
share.
yeah. They want to do traction for like 3 weeks. So the problem with that is if you miss one, you feel like, well, I'm already listed. I'm gonna screw that. So I don't
Yeah.
think you need to go to more than one topic a week for 1 week only.
Yeah.
You can have it, if you can do, say you want it all on marketing for multiple ones, well, make 1 week on yard signs and 1 week on
Yeah.
direct mail or 1 week on something else, but don't have a continuum because it's too easy to fall out if, well, I'm behind, I give up. I didn't read
Yeah.
the book.
It's a good point. I didn't read the book. I'm not, yeah, that's the hard part. I mean, Angela's pretty knowledgeable on some of those topics, but maybe just getting down to some brass tacks, like how do I build my business today? Like, what can I do today? As opposed to, yes, the long-term stuff is, my dog is.
Or have something, everybody come with something you can be prepared to share a little bit, like, tonight we're gonna talk about brochures you do. Just show us a picture of a brochure you've done to get, everybody can get ideas on or something,
That's a good idea.
so like, I'll give you, for instance, like, I do a lot of brochures. We do 9.5 by 4 rack cards. And I
Okay.
probably get through a couple 100,000 a year. And we do them 2 ways, so we go, but we drive roads, we know are dirty. You can see the dirty houses because we wash houses. What do you, rest of you guys do?
We do a carpet thing.
Okay,
Oh, me, I work for Collaborate.
you
I
just
work-
collaborate, or
Yeah.
collaborate. We're down to 3 companies. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
3 companies really here today.
So, like today I had one guy go out because I had an extra guy today and all he did is put up brochures all day long. So if there's a newspaper too, we put it in there. If it's, how do you do best? I don't go door to door because we have long driveways where we're at. They're not little organized neighborhoods. You can just zoom in up real quick, just walk up the sidewalks. So we teach them how to stick them on a mailbox, but not in a mailbox. But then even just what your brochure is about. Like, so I'll give you a frank instance here. Here's my brochure. It's a 2-sided deal. On the front side, it's got all our information, the different things we clean, but this up top is a scratch and win.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
It costs double to do, but everybody's gonna scratch it to see if they win the $100. Okay.
That's
At
great.
the back, a little blurb about everything we clean about it. I have another company called All Sealed Up. We do concrete floor coating, so I got a little blurb in the bottom about that.
Nice.
And if everybody just came and showed something like that, what's yours look like? Or
Yeah, good
maybe it's awful, but there's one really good thing in that awful brochure that I want to take and steal.
Yeah, you just
It's all
take,
about-
I can leave the rest, right?
I like the scratcher. It makes me want to scratch it.
Idea.
Then the other way we do it, I got some oversized ones of these and we'll take them and we'll fold them in half and we've got, the little spring clips, but we get the medium sized ones. So they got some weight. And we just keep big huge boxes of them in somebody's car and they just flip them out the windows in the middle of the driveways.
Do
You
people
barely-
get mad? Do you ever get calls about that? People get mad.
Yeah.
You say, oh, sorry, throw it away.
I had
Oops.
somebody tell me once, if you aren't getting enough calls of pissed off people, you're not marketing enough.
Probably true. Okay, so those are good ideas, like bringing and getting it maybe more specific rather than more broad. Like really specifically this week, we're going to talk about recruiting. What do you do for recruiting? How are you retaining? How are you motivating? How are you I thought what you did last week, that tool, and I can't remember the name of it. I don't have my notes in front of me, but
Automate, motivate.
that automate motivate tool. Travis, you should look that up because I was thinking about that when you said it. I was thinking, hey, that might be something we could do for our content team. It's like you get points for certain things. And then, once you get enough points, you can turn in for more money in your check or day off or different things like that. And it motivates people to go, not just barely squeak by, but to actually do more, and so, I thought it was really interesting that you said, you had a lot of retention in your company. people were motivated, excited about it. They shared about it with each other. And I thought that was really cool. And in this day and age, you know, people like the carrot, you know, rather than the stick.
And it's a positive carrot. It's not a negative thing. It's I'm motivating them to get the behavior I want out of them.
Exactly. Exactly. So I mean, I thought, hey, that might work out because we have a lot of people that work for us. They work for Travis, and you know, some of the stuff they do could be kind of mundane, like, you know. So if they had, like, you know, for me in my mind, I always have to have a goal. You know, that's important for me to be working for something to get to the next level or whatever, and that's motivating for me. So I think that would be kind of cool. The other thing that I know the intention was to do, and we did it one week, where David brought Ken Lindau on, who is an accountant that really knows how to sell a business and not pay taxes. And he teaches on that. And we had some people come. That one, I think we should redo, because that is something that's really interesting, especially for someone maybe that's getting to the point where, you know, they want to sell their business in 5 years. How do they map that pathway from here to 5 years from now where they can sell their business and think through those things? Because, you know, he's actually my accountant now, because David introduced me to him. And when we structured our LLCs, you know, we use Ken now, and he's got great ideas. I would never have known how to do some of the things that he's taught me to do. So he's really interesting, but also bringing other people on that, you know, that are specialists in a specific area. Like, I think retention is important right now. Finding,
Like we have every Monday a meeting with all the employees, and we usually do breakfast at it. And then about 3 times a year, I'll get a speaker to come in. I've had like a mortgage guy come in and teach them what credit is and how credit's important, how you improve your credit and why you want to improve your credit, because it even changes what you pay for like your car insurance and things like that they had no clue on. Or the people that thought, well, I pay my rent every month, I just pay cash. You might as well not even pay it, because it doesn't help your credit at all. You have to pay with a check or a credit card, something that's actually trackable.
yeah, traceable.
You know,
Mhm.
or you get somebody that comes in that's, maybe you got a plumber. I'm just going to teach you how to do the simplest things of your toilet runs. How do you fix that? Stuff that just
Yeah.
young people just need to know how to do, that they have no clue.
Yeah. Like David, one of the things he's good at getting financing from a bank. He knows how to help you get financing from a bank. Or in his case, he's started a lot of businesses with creative financing from the bank. And he said that's one of the things he thinks he's good at. Topic like that might be interesting to someone that wants to expand, maybe buy that extra piece of machinery, you know, go into gutter, you know, installation or something different to add to their business, and they don't know how to get there. So that might be interesting too. What do you think, Tiki?
Yeah, I like that. I like having, you know, like different subjects like that, because certain ones would be intriguing. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'd want to be a part of that. And I would want to learn more about that.
Yeah, I think your point is really good that you made initially, David, is that we have a topic that might attract a person. When it's a nebulous, like it says community today, like what does that mean? Like, you know, and I think that's, you asked what the goal is. I do think the goal is to build a community where we help each other. I think that's one of David's goals. I made a note to ask myself clearly, have him clearly state to me what Collaborate Live's purpose is, and, you know, what our marketing plan is. That he and Angela, this is really, he and Angela have worked on this more. We come and I'm more involved in the Collaborate side of the business, as is Travis. And these two are kind of, you know, David loves this forum. And I think it's a great, it's very, you can learn a lot of things in these types of forums. And I think he envisions it being that.
You know, we just have to grow it bigger to make it last, because you stay at 5 or 6, so it's not going to last very long.
No, because people start to drop off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be an hour. Maybe people don't want to give up an hour of their life every night. You know, maybe you make it a half hour. If you get through it and there's no other questions, don't just open it up for brainstorm and just say, we're done tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to like drag it out. Like we're
Yeah.
definitely going to cut it a little short tonight, not because I don't like you guys, but we can kind of deal with this topic and go round and round. But, you know, I think making some good points, we'll share those points, and, you know, and then we'll go back and try to retool maybe some of the things we're doing in the future on this. I think it's good. How's everything going on your end, Tiki? Have you been able to start on any of your traction stuff that, you know, the EOS or any goal setting or anything like that you want to share?
No, you know, we have been working on systems in the office. So, I liked what, David shared last week about, you know, how detailed that needs to be. And so I implemented that with my girl in the office and, you know, instead of like, oh, go on Yelp and check it. Well, exactly what are you checking? How do you log in? What's the login? What's the password? You know, like all the little details.
Yeah, you have
And
to peel away the onion. It's like hard to think of all those, you know?
yeah. So she's actually excited. It's something that she likes to do. So when I told her that, her face lit up and she goes, no one ever really likes to do this in their business. And this is so awesome. You want to do this. So
Right.
I think, you know, God put the right person in that position because she loves to do that. But
Right.
yeah, we want it to be not on us as the owners. So that means we have to put systems into place and just working on that instead of it being in our head.
And that's one of the things I kind of learning from Angela and David too, is like, I've always been, you know, prior to this, I was in the corporate world. I've said that a few times before, but I was in lots of positions where I was like kind of looking for avenues. Like I've been in sales and marketing, you know, and at a high level. But then I was also like trying to figure out like, why is this process not bridging over to operations or bridging over to supply or whatever, because I was a manufacturing side. So I was kind of good at that. But, you know, you realize like when I left that company, a lot of the things that I knew how to do, because I just did them, I could see the cues and I would fix them. That was never recorded, you know, and it is kind of tiring, you know, as a business owner, I would imagine being the only one that understands how to do something, right? It's tiring because people come to you all the time and then it's on you to do it. You know,
Plus, you can't ever be away and you can't ever sell your business because you're the only one that knows it.
correct. Yeah. And so it's the SOP process is really good. And like what you said, it's so simple, like, but it's just the password. Like, okay, you already know the password. You don't write it down because you know it, but you got to pass that on so someone else can do it. And that's super important. I mean, here's an example for us. I think I mentioned this last week, but you know, on accident, we end up having to do websites for people because they come and they either don't have a website or they have a terrible website that they've never invested in, or they have a website that we can't optimize very well. So we're kind of doing it. When I first got here with Travis was managing it and he still is, but it was on and off, you know, it's a little bit, but all of a sudden, you know, when we get bigger, we have to have a really strong process for that because someone comes in and they have expectations in their mind and there's a timeline in their mind to get things done. And Angela, you know, had this idea, which she does in her business, of using like a Disneyland type video. When someone signs up for a website, they are told basically on the video, like what the process is. And it's just like this aha moment for me is that people just want to know what the process is and they'll follow it. But you just assume that, hey, you're going to get a website. Yeah, someone's going to call you. But if you just spend 10 minutes and do a video and tell them exactly, then they know what to expect. And it changed our system basically just by doing that one thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think having a topic everybody knows ahead of time, come prepared if you got something good to share is a good thing. You know, I haven't had to hire somebody for the washing company in almost a year, but I'm getting ready to now just because we're grown. I have to. Nobody's left, but I've got to hire another one. So how do you do that? You know, what is the methods? You know, I've got a few. I got these little cards like this. It says, "You impressed me." And all that, and it's on the back side. It's got a QR code they can scan and it takes you to our recruiting page on our website.
Nice.
You can carry those in your wallet. And if you see like a bag boy at a Kroger's, it's, you know, he's got gumption or something, or you see somebody in wherever you might happen to be, you know, that, you know, who wants to be in this retail all your life or things like that. You know, you can do something different. Or may I share my screen for a second?
Go right ahead. Do I have to give you permission? Probably. Oh, good. I didn't have to.
So this is like a help wanted ad we run. No, I gotta pull it down. I'm on two screens. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
it's
gotta-
your
I
problem.
gotta- I gotta bring it down here. My bad. Come down all the way. There we go. No.
Crime fighters wanted. That's
Oh,
cute.
all right, so let me unblow it up so you can actually read it here. I've gone, I'm old, I blow stuff up. I'm sorry.
I'm old too, so thank you. In fact, you can call me grandma today. This week I became a grandma
Good for you.
the first time.
That's great.
Yeah,
So you can, there's nothing in here about what you have to be able to do to qualify to work for me. It's what I'm gonna do for you. It's all about them.
awesome.
Is there any way that you can share that? Is there any way I can
I guess I can. What's an email address? I don't have to do this.
TIKI
Yep,
HONK ANEN at Yahoo.
How do you say your last name, Tiki?
Honkinen.
Honkinen.
That's it. Cool. Thank you.
People always get my last name wrong. They say Novatoni, and it's not my last name. It's my
you
husband's
go
last.
through all this, then you got some stuff down here. It's not one time did I mention what you got to be able to do.
Yeah, just like, hey, this sounds like a fun place I want to work.
That's what you need. That's how you need to make it.
More about this, but we taught how to back up a trailer so you can impress your friends, family, and the ladies. That's cute.
Or up here, you get a free tan all summer.
There you go. No, get rid of your
That's a
tanning bed
positive way to do it.
oh, that's
We're not going to work weekends because you need that time with your family.
yeah, that's
So
great.
you got to do stuff like this to keep people and attract them, and
Yeah,
you know.
that's great. Well, you're just a wealth of knowledge, and I appreciate it.
We always tell the people that we hire that it's a good way to lose weight.
Weight loss plan.
Yeah.
There's times in my life when that would have been handy, but
Yeah.
it's great. Well, I appreciate those pieces of feedback. Is there anything else that you guys want to share? David, I think, and Tiki, I think we need to do some work in terms of recruiting and making sure that this is sustainable. And I love some of the suggestions that we have today, and they've been recorded, so those guys will hear them as well. And I know that will help them as they develop their plan. Is there anything else we can do for you? Anything else you want to chat about today?
I got just a normal collaborate question,
Yes, let's do that.
since that's what you do.
Yes, that's what Travis and I do.
I bought a new building and moved in the first of the year, but I don't want to change my address because every time you change your address online, it's just like the kiss of death.
Yep.
So do you just keep your old one forever?
Keep your old one until Google tells you to change it. That's what I recommend. So Google will eventually ask you to re-verify, but keep it the same for now. How far is the building from?
It's probably
old
10 miles.
address.
It's probably about 7 or 8 miles.
Yeah, I would keep your old address as long as possible, because Google doesn't typically ask for re-verification unless it suspects something else. Someone else moved there.
Okay.
They started to open the listing, but yeah, I would not change it until they prompt you to change it.
All right, I'm running some Google ads, and I had a customer hit the dial button. They called us, bad connection, so she hung up and hit redial. And when she hit redial, she got my competitor. Now, when I Google myself,
Mhm.
all washed up Lynchburg, we come up right, it tells you how many, on the one side, how many Google reviews you've got and your hours and all that kind of stuff. And then there's some more stuff on the other side. And then there's an ad for my competitor. And then there's some more stuff about me, like how many page views you have and stuff like that. His ad is in the midst of my Google information. How is that possible?
Could you show that? Do you have an example of that? Yeah, let me see that.
Let me do that here. Share this and then let me get to internet here. Just go to it. I got to move you all off of my bar right address bar because I can't type anything in. Stop. So get this. All right, so I'm in here. You see all the things we've got here. I scroll down. There he is. Then here's the rest. Then there's the rest more stuff about me here, but he's the very top thing.
He's paid for it. He's paid for,
But I'm still going down, and here's all my stuff still.
right?
Is it so? It's just a paid ad?
Yeah, it's just a paid ad. And so paid will always show up above organic. And so that's exactly what he did. Looks like that's a keyword he's going for.
So if I want to open his, I have to have a paid work. I should do that reverse to him.
Yeah, yep.
Because he is the biggest snake in the grass. I mean,
Because someone we know, his name's Phil. He sells window cleaning poles. And so the name on his window cleaning pole, I believe, is what's it called? Simple.
Simple, yeah.
Yeah. So and then his competitor or like someone that distributes his pole put an ad above his organic, so it shows up before his own company. So yeah, you can do that.
okay. I mean, because this guy, he made a new website about a month ago, and it was my website to the point my name showed up on his website because he copy and pasted it exactly. So I had to get a attorney to give him a cease and desist and intellectual theft lawsuit. So he took it all down. His only employers are the ones I fire. Things like that, just the snake.
Man, that dude's total snake. Jeez.
So is there any tricks I can use to outsnake him?
Dave would be able to give you some very inside tips for you.
Yeah, that's what I need. That's what I need. I mean,
You know what someone did to I think someone was chasing us around. We got hacked and someone put our site to Tinder the other day. So you click on our thing and it went to Tinder. People do all kinds of weird stuff. Dave fixed it, of course, because he's a master in everything, but people do weird stuff. But Dave probably we would never do that, by the way. We would never. We hear stories, but someone did it to us.
Yeah, definitely ask Dave some of the things he can do. He has a lot. So.
I need that kind of smart things. So how do I get a meeting with him again? How do I get to his calendar?
I'll send you a link to his calendar.
Send me a calendar request then, because I can't do that kind of stuff. The things I do are just different. Like you've been to the tire dealer where you got to put they get that little swab goes in a little bucket of soapy water and they go around your tire looking for the air bubbles coming up where you got a nail or something. I bought those and I filled them with Vaseline with the swab down it. And my guys now, when they put yard signs up, they all four sides that are Vaseline. So if you're going to take my signs, your hands are going to be nasty. You're stealing my signs too. So.
That's funny.
It's pretty simple to get to his calendar. I just put it in the chat, but it's our website, collaboratepros.com, and then you /Dave, and there's a Calendly link there, and you can just get on his calendar.
Okay.
And that's true for if you want to go over your site, you could do that with Andy, because Andy's when you do Andy, it's me and Travis that usually do that, or Dave, and Dave, if you have questions specifically.
He wants to know the sneaky tactics. That's Dave.
Yeah.
And in my other company, Dave doesn't do my other company, the flooring company, but because I was already high. I mean, I was number one on everything. In the last 6 weeks, I've gone to third to fifth all of a sudden.
That's
So
weird.
I got to get that fixed.
Someone's high talented, they're trying to beat you at your own, at your game. They're working hard. And that's the thing with what we do. We have a customer that's in La Jolla, that's a detail company, car detail. They were with us, Travis, what, like 10 months or something like that?
About
And they went from almost no traffic to 8,000 people a month coming to their site for car detail in La Jolla. And they stopped, and like now I'm watching them like go right down, they're down to like, I mean, they're still getting like 1,700 people a month onto their site. When they started with us, they had got like 50, so it's a big difference, but people are chasing you. So you kind of have to keep running faster, And I think right now people like see in some sectors, like I was saying last week, we have some customers that are like, it's really slow for them and they're not used to that. They're used to getting calls and traffic to their site. And even though their metrics look good, it's slow. And so their people are starting to do like more creative things. That's not true for everybody, but there are a handful of folks where it's really slowed down. And I think it's because they aren't staying ahead, in some of the things that they're doing.
Well, you got to go hard at it. You don't get people calling you. I mean,
Yeah, no, I really like your creative stuff that you're doing. That's really cool. Like your scratcher idea, it's a small idea that can pay big because it's different. Like it's a differentiator, someone notices that, and everyone loves a scratcher. Who doesn't love a scratcher? I used to go into McDonald's just to get the darn scratchers when they're playing the Monopoly game,
I remember that.
Yeah.
haven't done that forever.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I think it's helpful to me. I took good notes. Is there anything else? I don't want to keep you guys. You can go off early to dinner. Like that would be awesome. Or maybe for you, it's dessert in Virginia, right? It's 8.
8 o'clock-ish.
8. Yeah, it's 6 here, 6:10, and it's 5:10 for you guys, right? Tiki?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. For me, it's been helpful. And I do appreciate you guys showing up every week. We want to make this take off, and I'll share this stuff with David and find out what they've got planned for future stuff. Like I said, I kind of attend, but I don't sit in on the strategy part of it. But I think this was helpful.
I don't know who's in his world as far as who could come to this, but if I knew, I could pressure them a little bit more.
That's also good. I think
I don't know how that works because that's
like
Dave's
I
thing.
told some of these new people when I'm like, there's this really super nice guy. He's a carpet cleaner in Kona, Hawaii. I'd love for you guys to make friends with him and then go over and hang out at, his place. He's a super nice guy and he's really trying to grow. And he's had to call us, and he started with us and he stopped because his truck mount broke. And, it's like people like that I really like, I just really want to help them, and it would be good to have them because then you have people to collaborate with. So, I'm going to continue to tell people when it comes down to it, but I think we need to have, it doesn't matter. We can have the nicest people here, but if people don't find the time valuable or the content valuable, then, you can hang out with your family, I guess, so I think, I like the one topic idea and that will be passed on. So,
All right,
thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Nice to see you
I
guys.
appreciate you guys coming.
guys. All
Yeah.
right.
Have a
Good
good
night.
day. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.